You've tuned into Marvel News number 103. It's an all Spidey update, and we're going to have stories on Spidey's going to have a Crisis on Earth 1, Earth 2 this summer. Swear to God, he is. He's going to have a parallel Earth crossover, and you probably can figure out what that is by now. And we're also going to talk about the big Lizard Morbius storyline that's coming up in Amazing Spider-Man. We're going to talk a little bit about that Spider-Man movie trailer that was released this week. All that and more coming right up. Here at Alternate Reality, less is always more, because all new comics are always 15% off here at Alternate Reality. Every day for everyone. Unlike other stores, I have knocked 15% off the cover price of every new comic that's ever walked out the door here, going all the way back to when I first opened in 1994. So why shop anywhere else when you can come down here and save 15% off every day for everyone at Alternate Reality?
Marvel comic book news, hot off the presses.
Visit some old newses. You'll feel younger. Marvel News, episode 103, Trial by Curry.
Hey folks, Comic Book Man here.
Hey.
What?
Hit him again? I'm not nothing.
Hit him again? Okay.
What?
Hey! Hit him again?
Stop it! What's wrong with you?
He never does what I say.
Hey folks, Comic Book Man here. Welcome once again to my video outhouse. It's time for
Pain news!
Pain News, which is also known as Marvel News. And Marvel News is coming to you from this place, Alternate Reality, located at the intersection of 111th and
Yes,
Western.
111th.
111 Kedzie.
Western?
Man.
That was a long time
Oh,
ago.
Mount Greenwood, you know where the hell it is.
It's changing every day.
All Marvel Comics, 15% off every day for everyone.
Continental Drift.
This is an all Spidey update. That's right, the Amazing Spider-Man. We're going to update him. Oh, and we've got so many Marvel Spider-Man stories.
Actually, we had three.
We had
That's
three?
That's more than one.
1, 2, and you're going to be
Oh,
okay. Anyway, Marvel made a huge announcement this
Huge.
week that everybody's talking about on the internet, are they? Because I hadn't seen any news about it.
A big swinging announcement.
I said everyone's talking about the internet. I
Big
don't remember seeing
elephant
anything
size
about it.
announcement.
DC made their big before Watchmen, information on news last Wednesday.
Right.
2 days later, Marvel released a teaser image, and they said it's called Spider-Man, and people went, in June, and you're like, what is it? If you looked at the image, it merges the Amazing Spider-Man symbol and the Ultimate Spider-Man logo.
What could that mean?
So that means that the two of them are going to meet because
They're going to have a Crisis on Earth
Marvel
1 and
has
Earth
never
2.
done a crossover between the two universes.
Well,
officially.
sort of, kind of. The zombie thing. The zombie.
Yeah, the zombie thing, but officially. But and
that wasn't either. That was a different Earth. So.
Once they released the promo image, people started asking Marvel, excellent lines of a bunch of people, what does it mean? And they went, we're not going to tell you. So they're keeping it a secret. But I do know that Bendis was working on something big, some kind of big, huge crossover. So, and it happens to be the anniversary of Spider-Man, so I'm assuming this is part of the big, huge
Amazing.
Amazing. Okay. We're going to hit 700 this year.
Amazing. It just seems like we passed 600 like 2 years ago.
Well, that's what happens. You ship a book twice a month.
No, three times
Right,
a
three
month
times
for
a
like
month at one point.
65
now we're back
issues.
To twice a month. So yeah, you get there quickly.
Yeah, Marvel Amazing Spider-Man is going to hit 1,000 before anybody else because they're cheating their ass all the way to it.
It's like
Hey, it always said they didn't have to.
you got
do
one
action
writer
comics
and you
once
got a
week.
rotating series of artists, and this is a guy who's always on time, and he's only working on this one thing, and so the book's always going to ship. And that's really what people want. They want their books to ship on time.
So you can look forward to a Crisis on Earth 1, Earth 2 with the Ultimate Spidey and Amazing
June.
Spider-Man coming up in June.
Which will also be happening around the same time our next story takes place.
Which is Lizard. There's a 4-part Lizard story coming up in Amazing, and it will be called...
No Turning Back.
Oh.
Now, what does that mean? Does that mean Kurt Connors is going to be permanently the Lizard when this thing is over with? Or...
Well, it sort of depends on how the movie works out, because I'm sure the continuity will work in with
Well,
the movie.
yeah.
Even though this movie has nothing to do with Disney.
This movie has nothing to do with, but you know, the Lizard, the movie comes out at the same point where this arc is going to start.
Amazing. You think they planned it that way.
Well, they did. They did. It'll be drawn by Giuseppe Camuncoli.
Who?
Giuseppe
You,
Camuncoli.
Oh, you say that like you know how to pronounce it.
He's an Italian.
He's going to
fine
draw it in
artist.
marinara
It'll
sauce.
also feature who's going to be the subject of the next Amazing Spider-Man that shows up, the Morbius the Living Vampire.
Is he going to be in the movie too?
No.
Oh.
But Morbius the Living Vampire, as we found out during Spider Island, has been living in the labs that Spider-Man Peter Parker works at. And you're going to get a .1 issue, I think, in a week or so, which is going to be just tell you what's going on with Morbius.
For you youngins out there who don't remember or don't know or never experienced it in the first place, Back in Amazing Spider-Man 100, 101, 102, there was a 3-part story where Spidey had 6 arms, and Morbius, the living vampire, was introduced in that, along with, not introduced, but the Lizard was also in that storyline also. Spidey had to fight the Lizard and Morbius at the same time, which is the reason why the two of them are sort of kind of married together in a lot of people's minds, even though they have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah, because it's sort of the same sort. I mean, Kurt Connors is a scientist who ended up taking something which turned him into a lizard. Michael Morbius was a geneticist who took something which turned him into a living vampire. So they're kind of...
So it's weird science.
They kind of blended in that Spider-Man science villain thing.
It's a weird science thing. I think back when McFarlane was doing Spider-Man also, didn't he do a Lizard arc that also had Morbius show up? Or I seem to remember Morbius around the same time. Morbius, I don't know if he was in that arc or not. But
well, he popped up from time. Then at a certain point, Morbius had disappeared for a while. And people went, you know, he's kind of cool because he's got the pale skin and he's got that really silly looking outfit. And he looks good in the lab coat.
It's an incredibly silly looking.
It's a very silly. The lab coat worked better.
It was a cool outfit in 1971 when the book came out.
Yeah, I think Gil Kane designed that outfit.
Well, you know, Gil Kane was a great artist.
And that was weird because I think he was the first one to draw it.
He was a great artist, and for 1971, it was a cool costume.
And I always liked Gil Kane.
Too bad it's not 1971 anymore. Well, I'm going to get my bell bottoms and my platforms out. And that's it. We're done. We're finished around here. We got no more Spidey news, but go to the store's website. Check out all the Spidey news this man sends me. Yes. I post up. Oh, you're going to vamp.
Look at the new trailer for the movie. It's really, really good.
What movie?
The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yes.
It's coming out in May.
It's amazing. Everyone's talking about how great the Lizard is. You see him in a shadow, and then you see a face with an eye.
No, the long trailer. You saw the long trailer?
I watched one. It lasted about 2 minutes, and he's in a shadow.
And he's also on the bridge, fighting him on the bridge, and it's got a lot of great lines in there from Dennis Leary, and the whole thing about. So basically, you got the entire. You know, New York police force can't find a guy dressed in a unitard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also got, and you'll love this. It's got Spider-Man running around without his mask on, and Peter Parker crawling around the roof of a subway car with no costume on at all, inside the subway car.
And manual web shooters.
Well, manual web shooters. And now, for sure, that is it. We are done. We are finished. We're out of here. We got no more Marvel news. Go to the store's website. Where's it at? Tell them now.
It's on the internet. What's wrong with you people?
What more do you need to know?
Perfect.
It's like damp pants. www.moninternetradio.com.
So go to the store's website. Check out all his news. The next time is Comic Book Man.
This is Bo.
Bye.
The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.